Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathods IAS. Today in this session, we are going to understand how toppers are getting good scores in UPSC mains. So in this video, we are going to see the answer sheet of Vishakha Yadav. She secured All India Rank 6 in 2019 UPSC CSE. So if you see the mark sheet of Vishakha Yadav, she secured excellent marks in ethics, that is 162 out of 250. It is not an easy task to get 162 out of 250 marks. So we are going to see the sheet, answer sheet of this Vishakha Yadav, and we are going to see some important points that we need to incorporate in our answer writing to get good score. So as I said in our earlier video that we are going to see the answer scripts of toppers. So especially I selected this Vishakha Yadav answer script of ethics because she secured good marks in ethics. But it is not the case. She secured 132 marks in essay. But there are other toppers who secured more than 155 marks. Okay, so in this series, we are going to see the toppers' answer sheets and we are going to extract some important points that we can incorporate in our answer writing, and we are going to take the toppers' answer sheets in this series. So now let us try to understand how this Vishakha Yadav secured 162 marks in ethics, that is GS paper 4. As you all know, in this ethics we have 250 marks. So out of this 250 marks, about 120 to 130 marks you will be getting theory and remaining you will be getting case studies. So this will be your section A and this will be your section B. And let us try to see how Vishakha Yadav, she answered this theory questions, and later on we are going to see how she answered case studies and why she got good marks. So if you see here in theory, if you are writing any answer, we will be following IBC format. How she wrote introduction, how she wrote body and conclusion, we are going to see. So here you can see the answer sheet pics. Okay, I took just introduction part here. So in this question, it is a quotes based question. So every year you can expect this quote based questions, and even in this year 2022, you got 3 questions from the quotes, that is 30 marks from this especially quotes. So in this quotes, actually she approached in a very simple way. She tried to explain what that quote means. That's it. Okay. So here the quote is, the golden rule of code, that is a conduct, is mutual toleration, saying that we will never all think alike and we shall always see truth in the fragment from the different points of the vision, says Mahatma Gandhi. So this is the quote given by Mahatma Gandhi, and she explained that quote. Okay, so in this second, that is a 1B, you can see about the statement of this Confucius. So she explained simply what that quote means, and here she extracted what is that quote says. Okay, it is talking about truth. So in this way, in this quote based questions, you can just explain what that quote says, and here she elaborated that statement. So this is a one point that you have to make a note, like how to answer this quote based questions. And here in this question, it asked about corporate governance. So in introduction, she gave just what is the meaning of this corporate governance or definition. So she used the second thing, that is definitions. And here this question is about corruption. Yes, corruption is also under the part of our syllabus of GS paper 4, and she gave just report of Oxfam. So she says that Oxfam India report highlighted that 1% of population that held 73% of country's wealth. And she says that according to this report, yes, corruption is present and it is leading to socio-economic inequalities in our country. So she also used current affairs to write introduction. So this is third important point. And next one here is, so if there is any statement which is given and the keyword here is discussed, so in this type of questions, especially she understand what is the demand of question and she came up with what this question is related to. She related that so and so situation with the syllabus of GS paper 4. She wrote about impartiality versus neutrality, bureaucratic rigidity versus democratic ethics. So in this 4 to 5 ways, yes, we can write introduction in our ethics. So I hope you understand how to write this introduction. And if you move on to body, she write in a very excellent manner. Actually, she quoted data wherever it is necessary. Okay, whenever she is saying or whenever she is keeping her argument, so at that time she is giving also the data. So first one is data, and she is also connecting our syllabus, that is development versus rehabilitation or displacement, national interest versus public interest, and even she is writing like small diagrams, and even she is quoting ARC reports. So this second ARC report is very important to cover many of your aspects of GS paper 4. So please don't skip second ARC report. And she also quoted here Mr. Narayan Murthy. He is focusing on 3 P's, and she made a very simple diagram. So if you are making this type of diagrams, that will create a positive impact in the examiner. And she also writing about the acts that are present in the news, and even she is connecting the issues with the polity like different articles, preamble, etc. And next one is she also writing about international organizations. So if you're keeping updating on your current affairs, yes, obviously you can write what are the issues that are happening. So in that part we can also think about international relations, that is ethics in international relations, and she quoted here Human Rights Watch report also. And next one is wherever she is describing the keywords, that is accountability, objectivity, neutrality, impartiality, she is giving examples. So examples plays a very important role. And next one is presentation. So whenever she is writing in the body, yes, she also presenting the flow charts and examples that you can see. And even she is also adding current affairs, that is a recent NCRB report data which says about so how this sexual abuse is present, domestic violence is present, like that. So here in body you have to incorporate ARC reports, diagrams, examples, and some data that you can see in the current affairs, some reports, even some committees, and also examples, international organizations. You can also present with the flow charts. So this is about in detail regarding body. So if you see conclusion, so how can you conclude answers, especially in your theory part? So you can conclude by what are the steps taken by the government. So if you see this conclusion part, you can see Election Commission of India, Supreme Court and Government of India. So what are the steps taken by them? She wrote in the conclusion, and even she also added some Supreme Court judgments also in the end of the answer. So in this way you can make your presentation beautiful, and you can express that you are well versed with the current affairs and you understand the concept even with the examples. So if you are giving examples, then examiner can understand, yes, so and so person, she knows the topic, she understands the concept. And if you move on to second section, that is theory, that is this case study, we done with the theory, and now we are going to see the case studies. So in the case studies, so after reading this case study, actually you have to give your introduction. So in introduction, she made a beautiful introduction, and she related that so and so situation, and she connected with the subject of ethics and even from the polity. So here you can see she wrote Article 46, Article 15 and Article 16, and she also said that this reservation system in India, it is an affirmative action towards the weaker sections of society, and where this reservation which is set in these articles in our constitution. So it is a beautiful introduction. And next one here is she also connected sometimes with the syllabus. So if there is no chance of connecting this situation with this polity, we can also connect with our syllabus, that is ethics, that is here she said about loyalty. And next introduction that you can see here is, so this case study, it is about freedom of expression, as you all know, which comes under the Article 19 of our Indian Constitution, which comes under fundamental rights under part 3. And she said about what is the importance of this freedom of expression in the introduction. Okay, and next one is sometimes if there is nowhere like we can't connect with the polity or we can't connect with the current affairs, yes, we can just understand what is the situation of that case study which is given, and we can write the gist of that case study in the introduction also. So that is the thing which she done here in this case study. And one more thing is, whenever you are beginning your body, you have to address the key stakeholders who are present. So in these diagrams you can see she made excellent diagrams of key stakeholders. For example, media is involved, for example public is there, injury, and as well as sports people. And here in this flow chart you can see there is a committee, there is media, government, people who are aggrieved persons. Okay, so in this way you have to write the stakeholders. So what is the importance of writing stakeholders? So if you write the stakeholders, then you can understand so who all are involved, and whenever you are writing the measures, you can address each and every stakeholder, and such that your answer or your approach will be a multi-dimensional approach. Okay, mentioning of stakeholders is very important. And if you see in the body of this case studies, she wrote the data. So whenever she is giving any argument, yes, she is not blindly giving argument, but even she is supporting her argument with the data, with the recent current affairs. Here you can see about this Jarnail Singh case, that is a Supreme Court judgment. It says that 98% of population, they are within the 10% of bracket that comes under economic criteria, and about 55% of OBC population, they were under 27% of bracket, and even Patedar and as well as Jets reservation. So like that she gave excellent data. And especially in your case studies, you will be getting questions like what are the options which are present before you, and you have to evaluate those options. So she gave the option that is present, and she gave the merits and demerits. So in this way you can know how to present this evaluate question in the case study. And next one here you can see there were number of examples even she quoted in this case studies. For example, she gave the example of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and also she gave like recently what she heard in the news, like Government of India, what are the measures taken to regulate in indecent and as well as false advertisements. And even she quoted the act, that is Consumer Protection Act of 1986. So it is in news. And here if you see the presentation wise, first she will be presenting the stakeholders, and after that she will be giving the options and also the merits and demerits. So you can learn like this. Okay, and here you can see one important tip from my side is, so please go through this Niti Aayog 3-year action agenda. So that will be very useful for writing some case studies, some examples in your ethics and even in your GS. So that is the thing she wrote here, that is Niti Aayog, Niti at the rate 75 potential. Okay, and even you can write data from your economic survey also. So she also included the data from this economic survey, and she also interlinked with the ethical dimensions. So what are the interests are present and what are the ethical issues are there. So in this way you can present your answer in a very beautiful manner. And in conclusion of this case study, yes, she also make a note of international organizations. For example, she quoted ILO. Yes, India is signatory of International Labour Organization conventions. Okay, and in this way you can use the different international organizations which are seen in that year news. Okay, so this is a presentation of this Vishakha Yadav. So from this presentation I can say like, so first of all you have to focus on current affairs. You can use current affairs in introduction and even in your body, and you can use international organization because it is under part of international ethics. And you can also focus on Supreme Court judgments, articles of Supreme Court, and even you can quote some different committees. Okay, committees which are seen in news, and what are those recommendations of that committees, what are the acts which are present in our current affairs of that year. For example, Manual Scavenging Act, for example, Termination of Pregnancy Act. So which you can see repeatedly in news, in editorials. Yes, you can use those acts, those bills. Okay, so based on that, here the case studies will be appearing. Okay, and try to make your presentation good. You can use diagrams, you can use flow charts as this Vishakha Yadav used, and that will be very helpful to get good marks. So just not give your argument. So even you have to substantiate your argument with either data or recent reports or committee recommendations or your examples. Okay, you can also add the case studies of national level or at the international level also. So these are the some key highlights of this Vishakha Yadav's ethics answer sheet, and I thought that I have to share with you because it will be helpful for the students who are especially beginners or who are having or who are facing a problem like not clearing the mains. Okay, so in this way I hope that this video will be helpful for at least some of you have watched this video. Okay, so by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much.